Ah, that's another one.
Yes, and here is one very important, and this is ecological succession. Please, you can't talk about succession alone, it should be ecological succession. And here we talk about how a bare piece of land and rock can become, over time, it become a community with different plants living together. But the stages and what happens at each and every stage
Yeah.
is important for them. So go through that, look at the stages, primary succession, and distinguish between primary and secondary succession. Primary succession, this is where there's a brand new habitat, no organism has ever occupied that space, and how pioneer plants, now a pioneer plant is normally plants like mosses, and it can become later ferns, and they
grasses.
colonize, and grasses small, and later on you can see then all the bigger plants and trees later on. Secondary succession, there you can see it's a sequence that is just, it's a disturbed habitat, which means there could have been a fire, but it was an established community before it was disturbed, and then it can be regrowth of plants. So that is secondary succession until a climax community, and that's the final stage, has been reached.
This is a very simple diagram, but there you can see the differences between primary and secondary succession. If you look at the first picture, there was nothing there. And slowly the pioneer plants, the smaller plants that can colonize what little soil there is, and more soil is formed, smaller shrubs, trees, until you get bigger trees, maybe even a climax community. But then there's a fire. These trees burn down, and we have to start all over again. So this was the primary succession when it first started on the bare land. If there were plants and there was a community, climax community, and some disaster occurs and the environment has to start all over again, it is called secondary succession.